This video is based on a movie titled Rise of the Planet for the Apes. Alert, spoilers ahead. A study of an IQ improving drug is underway, and the scientists are using apes to test the drug. The first phase of the test doesn't work as intended after one of the apes goes berserk. The owner of the laboratory orders all the apes undergoing tests to be eliminated. One of them has a cute baby and the doctor in charge keeps it. Its IQ is on another level as he realizes later. The movie starts with a scene deep into a tropical forest where some people are hunting chimpanzees and taking them to a laboratory. In the laboratory, we see a chimpanzee arranging some toys from the biggest to the lowest with ease. The doctor is excited with the improved IQ of the chimp. He goes to his boss, Steven, and tells him that the drug is working very well with the apes. He requests him to approve the drug trial with humans. Steven tells him that such approval can only be given by the board. The doctor demonstrates to the board the success of the drug on the chimp by showing what the chimp is capable of doing. He requests them to approve its trials on humans. As the doctor is explaining to the board members on the success of the drug, one of the scientists attempts to chain the chimp so that it can be presented to the board. The chimp attacks him, and it manages to leave its cage. The chimp goes berserk and destroys things in the lab, eventually finding its way into the boardroom. A security officer shoots it dead. The doctor is very devastated and the board is very disappointed, and they reject the doctor's proposal. Steven orders for all the apes under study to be put down. Franklin finds a young baby of the chimp that had been shot. The doctor realizes that the chimp was only trying to protect its baby and not that it was aggressive. He is devastated more. Franklin tells the doctor to take the young chimp home and take care of it. The doctor protests and tells Franklin that the chimp is a company property. Franklin tells him that Steven had forced him to put down all the other 12 chimps in the laboratory, and he was not ready to kill this one. He hands him the silage with the anesthesia and tells the doctor to put the young chimp down. The doctor takes the chimp home, and with his father's assistance they rear the chimp. His dad names the young chimp Caesar. 3 years later, it is evident that Caesar is a very intelligent chimp. He demonstrates intelligence higher than humans of his age. The doctor establishes that the intelligence is passed from the mother's genes who had been subjected to the drug under study. Meanwhile, the health of the doctor's father is deteriorating. The nurse refuses to attend to him due to his aggressive behavior. His mental health is the most affected. The doctor administers the drug under study to him, and his health improves immediately. He is able to play the piano very well. The doctor is convinced that the drug is as good as he had anticipated. One day, Caesar leaves the house and the neighbor's children get scared of him. Their father comes to their rescue and chases Caesar while trying to hit him with a baseball. The doctor and his father find him on time before the neighbor kills him with a baseball. They apologize to their neighbor and they take Caesar back to the house. The following day the doctor takes Caesar to the clinic where the bruises he suffered are treated. Caesar is fond of the doctor treating him. He even suggests that the lady doctor joins them for dinner. When the doctor interprets the meaning of Caesar's gestures, she agrees to join them for dinner. We see Caesar being taken to a game park, and when he is unleashed, he asks for permission to roam around, and is happy climbing the trees like a chimp. When Caesar is 5 years old, the doctor takes him to the park, and he is not happy when it is time to go home. He is not eager to get into the vehicle. The doctor passes by his workplace and tells Caesar that that is the place where he was born and his mother passed on. One day as they are taking breakfast, the doctor's father holds the fork the wrong way and Caesar shows him to hold it properly. He is so intelligent. He listens to whatever the doctor says, and even knows the drugs the doctor administers to his father. The doctor's father starts to deteriorate again, and the doctor discovers that the drug has side effects on humans. One day, the father goes outside the house and enters into a neighbor's car which he finds open. He starts off the car and hits the vehicles parked next to it. The neighbor comes out and pulls him out of the vehicle and scolds him. Caesar sees the neighbor holding the doctor's father and comes out of the house to protect him. He beats the neighbor badly and stops when the doctor's father tells him to. The police come and they take Caesar to an animal orphanage. The doctor promises Caesar that he was going to save him and get him out of the orphanage soon. He is taken to a cage and the other chimps make a lot of noise. They have seen a new friend. The doctor goes to the court to appeal for Caesar's release, but he is told that he can appeal after 90 days. He is very much pissed off. Meanwhile, the doctor's father's health deteriorates rapidly. His immune system goes down, and he thinks of how he can get a cure. One day he finds his boss Steven in the lift, and tells him the drug they discarded works. He tells him that he administered the drug to his father, and he got healed. Steven agreed to support him in doing further tests on the drug. The orphanage caretaker is feeding the chimps, and he gives Caesar his food. Caesar does not like it, and throws some of the food to the caretaker's face. The caretaker is very annoyed. He takes a horse pipe and pours water to Caesar. That night, Caesar sleeps hungry on a cold floor. The following day, Caesar keeps himself busy by drawing the window of their house on the wall. Meanwhile, the doctor receives chimps at the laboratory to continue with his research, this time with an intention of getting a cure for his dad. He develops a higher quality drug. He administers the drug to a chimp, and after a few days, the chimp becomes so intelligent that it can even write. Steven is astonished, and he watches the chimp write. The chimps are freed to go and have sunshine break, and Caesar joins them. One of the chimpanzees confronts him and tears off his shirt. He starts beating him as the others cheer him, and Caesar runs up a tree. The chimp follows him, and Caesar accidentally falls to the ground. The caretaker uses a gun to sedate them to end the fight. We see Franklin and the doctor at the laboratory, and when Franklin sneezes, he notices blood on his hands and clothes. He has been infected with a virus under study. Caesar and one of the chimpanzees are seen communicating in gestures. One of the chimpanzees is sedated and taken away. They seem to wonder what is happening. The doctor and his girlfriend visit Caesar, and he tells them that he is being mistreated, and the doctor confronts the caretaker. The doctor promises Caesar that he will take him out of the orphanage soon. Caesar cries when they leave him. Some visitors come to view the chimpanzees. They are accompanied by the caretaker. One of them goes near Caesar's cage and offers him a beer. Caesar grabs his hand, and in the confusion, he steals a penknife from his pocket without his knowledge. Later he uses the penknife to open the door to his cage. He also opens the door of the biggest chimp, who he had noted that is always kept in the cage. The chimp is very happy to be out of his cage. He also opens the cage of the chimp who beat him on the first day he came to the orphanage. When he comes out, Caesar hits him with a tin, and he falls down. The big chimp tells him to apologize to Caesar, which he does. We see the doctor sitting next to his bedridden father and contemplating whether to administer his advanced drug on him. He eventually decides not to and watches his father pass on. When he goes back to the laboratory, he finds his juniors performing some tests using the new drug. Steven tells him he is the one who authorized them to administer the drug to more chimps. The doctor is not happy about it. Steve tells him that he knows the drug works, and he is going to make a lot of money as the doctor becomes famous. He quits his job in protest. The following day, he goes to the orphanage with a lot of money in an envelope, and gives it to the orphanage in charge. He agrees to allow him to take Caesar with him. He goes to Caesar's cage, and tells him he has come for him. Caesar does not seem excited about it. He closes the door to the cage, and refuses to leave the orphanage. The doctor is very disappointed. The following day, Caesar sees the caretaker open the gate and memorizes the code he uses to open the gate. At night, he opens the gate, and leaves the orphanage through the rooftop. He goes to the doctor's house, and takes the drugs from the fridge, and goes back to the orphanage. He breaks the medicine cans, and fumes of the medicines fill the cages. He believes it will improve the intelligence of the chimps. And it does. The following day, all the chimps assemble at the open yard, and Caesar talks to them. At the laboratory, more drugs are being manufactured as Franklin is found dead on his bed. He has succumbed to the infection of the drug. When the caretaker comes to lock the cages, he notices that Caesar is alone in the yard. He attacks him with the electric teaser as his deputy prepares to sedate him. Caesar fights back and holds the caretaker by his arm and shouts no. The caretaker is astonished. He has never heard a chimp speak. Caesar hits him on the head, and he becomes unconscious. He pulls his unconscious body back to the cages and opens the cages. All the chimps come out of their cages, and as the deputy to the caretaker comes out of his room, they go for him and start beating him. Caesar intervenes and asks them to stop. He throws him into one of the cages and closes it. The caretaker regains consciousness and grabs the teaser. Caesar takes the horse pipe and pours the water on him, and he is electrocuted. All the chimps leave the orphanage through the rooftop to their freedom. On a hill they see the entire city, and Caesar leads them on a mission to free their comrades. They go to the laboratory and destroy everything in there and release all the chimps held there. The doctor goes to the orphanage and finds all the chimps gone. Everything is in a mess and the lifeless body of the caretaker is lying on the floor. He finds the deputy caretaker in one of the cages and asks him what happened. He tells him that Caesar spoke and led all the other chimps out. The police go to the orphanage and look at the CCTV camera. They are astonished by how the chimps conducted the escape. They follow them and find them in town causing mayhem. The doctor also follows them hoping to find Caesar and ask him to stop the carnage. Steve arrives at the laboratory and finds everything in a mess. The chimps are all on the upper floor watching him silently. They jump down and he escapes their wrath miraculously. He runs to a police helicopter and the chimps head to the next orphanage and release their comrades. One of the chimps is captured by the police and the other chimps rescue it dramatically. The entire city came to a standstill. The chimps have to go back to the forest, but they have to pass through a bridge. The policemen block the bridge and Caesar leads the chimps to war. He commands some of the chimps to pass the roadblock from under the bridge. Others fight the policemen on horses. They push a bus towards the police roadblock using it to cover themselves from the bullets. Their comrades pass the roadblock by going under the bridge, and they attack the policemen manning the roadblock from behind, defeating them badly. The police in the helicopter shoot the chimps from above as Steven shows them the chimps' leader. Caesar picks a chain and throws it at the helicopter, and the policeman with a machine gun is hit. The pilot shoots at Caesar, and the big chimp comes to his rescue. He jumps at the helicopter as the pilot shoots him and throws him out of the helicopter. The helicopter hits the bridge and hangs there. Caesar pulls the big chimp from the helicopter, but he dies in his hands. Steven calls for help and Caesar tells one of the chimp they rescued at the laboratory to deal with him. The chimp pushes the helicopter down the bridge to the river. The chimps go back to the forest and the doctor follows them. In the forest, one of the chimps attack him, but Caesar comes to his rescue. The doctor tells Caesar that he wants him to go back home with him, and Caesar speaks. He tells him he is at home and goes up a tree. Please subscribe, like, comment and share this video with your friends to support our channel.